Now we're doing the second half of this awareness exercise. By the way, this exercise hasn't changed for me in basically 35 years. I like it so much. I find it such an important tool. And then also this business of keeping 3 sessions, 2 hours for awareness, 3 hours of dream, 3 hours of dream. When I started out, it took me maybe a year or two to figure that out, the best rhythm for me. And this is very different than most other people work. Most people, most psychologists, 45 minutes, give me the money, goodbye. And then it goes on for 2 years, 10 years. But this process, I try to get in 8 hours what I need for the kind of work I do. But that's a long story. Right now we have 1 hour on this tape, and we're going to do a very important exercise. So this is called guided awareness. The other one was kind of you do it, and then I'll give you my kibitzing. This time I'm going to be doing much more directing. All right, much more helping. Turn more in your direction. So you need to direct half, when you're talking to them, talk to them. When you're talking to me, talk to me. You could be a little more at an angle, I think, the other way. Yeah, maybe that's better. Okay? Yeah. All right. Again, I remind you, you're free to censor. The more you share, the more we have to work with. Okay? All right, so we start out again. What are you aware of now?
I'm aware that I'm speaking to someone who's writing notes. And it takes time for him to finish writing. Also aware that even though there's no audience behind the camera, there will be an audience who will watch this video. I'm aware that my hands are folded, my fingers are interlocked, and my thumbs are touching each other. And they're resting on my pelvic area. And then my feet, my shoes are on the ground. I'm in a comfortable position. I don't feel any pain in my body. I'm aware that my position has been drawn out on a piece of paper. And my breathing is slowed down. And that you, the audience, somehow are looking to get entertained. And Franklin again is frantically writing. I'm trying to slow down of what I have to say so that he can get all the notes that he needs. And now I'm just waiting to get some guidance because that's what he has proposed to do.
Okay, let's stop there for a second. Let me just take a second to read this over here. Did you notice the projection there? Onto the audience.
That they want to be entertained.
Yeah. You don't know that, right? but you projected the idea of somebody that wants to be entertained out there, right?
Mm-hmm.
Okay. All right. You're beginning to be a little aware of your body awareness. You're feeling comfortable. You're feeling comfortable and you're breathing a little bit, okay? So if you don't mind, how about we deal with the body, inner zone awareness, because that was the thing that was very much lacking before. So can we do that a little more systematically now? Would you mind closing your eyes? And take your time and get in touch with your body a little bit. And again, you're free to censor, all right? But what can you share about what's going on in the body?
Body's excuse me, very relaxed. You'd probably sit up more because the back of this chair is pushing into my shoulder blades. I feel like I'm in a balanced position. Feel the hat on top of my head, but I need to give it some space so they can see my face.
Yeah, maybe you better put that thing sideways again. I don't know. I don't want to block your face. Is there any place in your body where you feel any tension?
I just feel pressure against the back of the chair and my middle of my back.
You feel pressure against back of chair.
Yeah.
As though are you pressing the chair or is the chair pressing you?
I'm pressing the chair. Because if I move forward like this, I don't feel it as much.
Okay, I don't want you to break the chair, but just be a little more aware of that. Just press a little more there. Yeah, press a little more. Yeah, well, keep your eyes closed, please. We're dealing with inner zone awareness. So you're pressing back, okay. And now relax it. Now relax. And I'll do it again. Be aware of how you start pressing yourself there. And then relax. Now see, okay. Any other place where you feel any tension?
My buttocks against the bottom of the chair as I sat more straight up.
Can't hear you.
My buttocks against the seat of the chair when I sat more straight up.
Yeah.
And in between my hands, where my hands are joined.
Hmm?
In between where my hands are joined,
Yeah.
there's a little pressure.
Oh, with the hands.
Yeah.
Okay. How about doing the same thing there? It's called taking responsibility. Squeeze where there's pressure. Instead of pressure happening to you, press those hands together. Press them a lot. Yeah. And add the breathing to that, like a lot. Press a lot. Even more noise again. And now relax. Take a deep breath, you know. Relax. Yeah. And do that one more time when you're ready. Yeah. Okay.
Now I feel warmth going through my body. Blood flowing.
Okay. So in Gestalt Therapy, one of the basic yeah, you can open it now. One of the basic principles is to what you do to yourself, to instead of doing it to yourself, it's called retroflexion. Retroflexion is pressing yourself, squeezing yourself. You know, instead of energy goes into you rather than out into the world. It's called imploding. So a good exercise of course, certain amount of inner focus is important in life, but also we want to focus also on the outside. So how about what's called undoing that retroflexion by doing it to me? How about stand up? See, now I hope we're in the view. Let's just see if I'm checking the camera here to make sure that you. Okay, I'm going to open it up a little bit more, a little wider. No, wait a second. It's at the limit for this lens. Okay, so we can't get much more. Then we have to stay up against the wall there, okay? Up against the wall. Or I could move that camera back. Maybe I better do that. I know this, I hate to interrupt this thing, but I'll record. Yeah. So now, again, rather than doing the squeezing yourself, pressing like that, press me. Let's take your hands and squeeze them against me and push hard and make, not too hard, you're going to blow me away here. I see you're strong. With the noise, the same thing. Ah! Ah! Not so hard. Not so hard you push me away. Next, no, I don't know. Again. Okay, good. You're a very strong guy.
Looks to me deceiving.
You're in good shape, aren't you?
Yeah, yes.
Okay.
Lean.
Okay. Look at a little stick figure again. All right. Now, how do you feel? What are you aware of now? How do you feel
I'm
now?
aware that my heart is moving a little faster.
Yeah.
I have a little faster breath. And since more blood, I guess blood sensation in my hands where I was pressing against, in my arms where I flexed muscle, I guess.
Okay, now I notice you're looking at me. And remember...
They're the ones that need to be paid attention to.
No, in this case it's good, because remember last time for the first hour you ignored me.
Mm-hmm.
So now we want to work on me a little bit, okay?
Okay.
So, what's your awareness of me?
My awareness of you is that you're in a writing position, but also I'm aware that I have to be aware of the idea that you're guiding me and I'm not guiding myself. But
Now, you're guiding me is it's kind of an abstract idea, a projection of something.
So you're telling me what I should do, how I should do it, or how I can increase my body awareness.
Try this one. if you listen to my voice, okay?
Eyes
How
open.
do you hear my voice? How would I describe my voice? Testing 1, 2, hello, hello, hello.
It's not a high-pitched voice. It's more of a deeper, lower voice. It's a very, not very, it's too big a word. It's, speak again.
Hmm?
Speak again so I can,
Testing 1, 2, hello, hello. Hello, David.
it's a very calming voice.
Ah, so create the, tell me the connection. You heard, what is it that told you that it's a calming voice? The fact that it was deeper and lower, is that what it is?
I think the tone, but also the pace, the pacing of it, or and you using my name, I guess.
Oh. Uh-huh.
Like that you're there, that you're reacting to a question, or that.
Okay.
And there's no shouting.
What?
There was no shouting.
No shouting.
No shouting!
No shouting. What does that tell you?
That it's a benefit. It's more beneficial, or more of a coaching, or more of a.
Oh.
Coaching can be loud too, I guess. If you're on a basketball court and they're
Yeah.
telling plays, you go left, right. Then that's,
Okay. All right. I lost my pages here. Oh, there it is. Okay. Now, how about seeing me? All right. You didn't say one thing about. Oh, yeah. You saw that I was writing quickly, but how about seeing me a little more diligently this time?
okay. That you're attentive, but your posture is a little slouched. You could be sitting more straight up. That that you need to focus on your hand or the paper when you're writing. That you're not nervous, and that you're not that you have good body control.
What tells you that?
Well, that you're not nervous because you're not really fidgeting. And you have good body control because you're able to write fairly straight and fairly in a organized manner.
Okay. What else? Anything else?
That you're breathing deeply, because I can hear your breath. You're breathing out of your mouth. That you're breathing out of your mouth, you were at least. You have to hold on a little bit to the box with your pinky. At least you're holding on it for some sort of balance or some sort of. There's a little strain in how you're holding it. But now you've made an adjustment with it. Now you don't need to hold it because the board's still there and your pinky's not there, and now you're typing as if you're typing.
Okay. Now that you see me here, all right? Now add your comments. Now here is a place where you could, fantasize, make up all kinds of conclusions like you did last time. You could draw a whole kind of anything that comes to your mind. Associations, in other words.
the faster I speak, the more you have to write, or the more words that I have, and you're not able to keep up, and that I could just talk and talk and talk and talk, and you wouldn't be able to write what I'm talking. You might be able to think about what I'm talking, what I'm saying, but you can't, and you can come up with a formulation or some sort of idea of what I'm saying. You can put down a concept that would trigger your memory to make you remember what I said, so that you'll be able to use it to synthesize or to analyze what I'm saying, or how I'm saying, or how it fits within the system or within the concept.
So if a person, since I do that, therefore, what sort of a person am I?
You're someone who's a recorder, recording information, or who is trying to get information so you can fit it within your theory or your therapy or your training or your teaching. That you're an attentive person. You pay attention to details, or that you're writing shorthand so that you can analyze it later.
Again, what kind of a person does things like that?
A doctor.
Well, again, okay,
A doctor.
like
Someone
a doctor, but can you find emotional adjectives? What kind of a person? Again,
melodramatic.
Melodramatic, okay.
Because at a point you're mellow and then you're dramatic. Not in your writing, but...
How am I melodramatic?
Well, if you separate the words mellow, when you're writing you're mellow, and when we were acting out earlier you were dramatic.
Uh-huh.
Pushing each other, etc.
Okay. All right, that was good. So you see a little more how I'm working with what this awareness idea is. I'm helping you focus it a little more.
Mm-hmm.
All right. Now, it's very important that we dealt a lot. You have no trouble with the outer zone. We worked a little bit on the inner zone. You saw me again. We went to the outer zone. See, you notice this? So we went back and forth.
Mm.
That's called the rhythm of contact and withdrawal. Except we haven't done the withdrawal. We did the withdrawal when you went inside for the body. So we did outer zone and then inner zone. Okay? Contact outside and then contact inside. All right? But there's one other kind of awareness that we haven't really zeroed in. You did it a little bit. You do it very well. But we want to work more on the fantasy zone awareness. Right? So I'm just wondering if we're going to be too small in that image. I want to take another look at that image over there.
Mm-hmm.
Well, you're far away. I mean, the thing is, we're far away there. But I think I want to.
Are you gonna have me getting up and acting or doing anything?
The thing is, that's it. If you want to get up, so we really should have two cameras doing this thing.
I can just sit. That's fine.
So now make sure it's on. Yeah, it's recording. Okay. All right, we'll just continue and hope for the best. Maybe I can do it in the editing. I can. Okay. So, we want to work on fantasy zone awareness. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
All right. Here you don't need to look at me. You can look out that direction. All right. Or 2/3 the way. That's about like that. You see most. So you can look this way and that way. All right. Okay. So I want you to close your eyes, please, if you don't mind. And again, first of all, start off with inner zone, body awareness. All right.
My legs are crossed.
Hmm?
My legs are crossed.
Your legs are crossed. Yeah.
My hands are in between my legs. My reaction time to, say, someone coming in, or my hands are restricted in their movement by my legs. And it would take me time to pick up something that fell, or to use my hands to do any sort of maneuvering. My reaction time would be delayed. But I'm in a position that is offensive in relation to movement that I can...
What did you say, offensive?
On the offense rather than the defense.
In what sense? In what sense? Is that on the offense?
That I'm ready to move at any time. I could release my hands and free my hands if there was some sort of necessary need.
Oh, I see what you mean. How about, let me, I'm going to move back a little bit here. And let's imagine when I clap my hands, suddenly you have a reason to spring forth into action from that coiled, it's like a coiled snake, right? Mm-hmm. Okay. Ready? Okay, do it to the audience, do it again. And this time add the breath and the sound that goes with it. Ha! You know, open up. A total explosion, all right? Into action. Ha! In that way. Loud noise, deep breath. All right? Explode out of that chair like a jack-in-the-box, okay? And do the show for them, okay? Ready? That's it. Go! No noise! Where's the noise?
No, I gotta get the noise. I'll get there.
Get the noise. Ready?
I'm up!
Good. And do it again. This time, keep going. Imagine that there's some enemy out there or something who you would be, who is, you know, the target. Imagine a target. Go about another couple of, you can go another couple of feet there, and just make it into some kind of one of these, you know, movies where they have, you know, these heroes, you know, with some kind of samurai warrior or something. I don't know what. Okay, make a little shtick out of it. Ready?
I got him! I see him! It's okay.
Okay, good. Very good. So how do you feel doing that?
Good.
That kind of...
I can... it's using the fantasy or imagination.
Can't hear you.
It's using the imagination. It's using the fantasy. It's getting the creative juices flowing.
And now you're back in the outer zone, right?
Okay.
What's your awareness of the outer zone?
That I'm in an area where there's dogs barking.
So you hear
I hear dogs barking.
Okay. So do it, instead of starting off with the conclusion, start off with the concrete awareness.
Okay. Like saying I'm here, I hear this, I hear that.
But let me just note that. That's an important thing here. Okay. So now go on with your awareness of being outside. First of all, which is nicer for you, to be outside or inside?
Outside.
You like being outside. And what's nice about outside? what's the difference? What do
That
you?
I don't have to focus in on myself. I don't focus in on the self-awareness. I get to focus on that I'm reacting or getting more involved with the circumstances or the outer world than what's actually going on inside me.
And what's your objection to the inner world?
That it takes more focus or concentration and slowing down. I like to move fast. I like a lot of outer stimulation. I'm aware of these birds chirping. I wonder if they're hungry. I know that they're baby birds in some sort of nest. Where's their mother? Doesn't she feed them? Those dogs are gone. Because I can't hear the dogs, so the dogs must be gone.
That's it. You got it straight this time. Okay. Now, I want to go inside again, all right? Okay? So we're going to go one step further this time. Did you notice? Oh, sugar. Did you notice the time when we started this tape? Oh,
You wrote it down 4:30.
4:30. Okay. Right. You wrote 4:30. Right. Okay. And that, all right. So now, close your eyes. Please go inside. We want to do a daydream this time. And again, you're free to censor. All right. But the more you share, the more we got to work with. You know, a daydream means you could imagine anything, all right?
Okay.
And take your time, all right?
My head's getting heavy in my hands. Trapped in this room. Someone's waiting for me.
I can't hear you.
Someone's waiting for me. The horn is honking. I'm trapped in this room. I can't get out.
Keep your eyes closed, but stay with the image, all right? Say that again now.
I can't get out of this room. There's someone waiting for me. Where did I put that key? Ah! Where? Yes, I'm coming. I just can't get out. I'm gonna be late. My dad hates it when I'm late. He wants me on time. Wish I could find that darn key. Where did I put that key? My cell phone's off. Could call him. Sure hope they don't leave without me. Do they even care about me? Yes, I'm coming. Why do they keep honking the horn? Don't they know I'm coming? They called before they came. Gonna be late. Always late. They're probably thinking that I'm doing those drugs again. I gotta get that last hit. Just lost the key. Where did I put the key? Gonna be late. Late for basketball practice. They're gonna leave without me again. Think I'm an addict? I just lost the key. Will they even believe me that I lost the key?
What did you say about an, stay inside please, what did you say, about an addict, what did you say? They'll think you're in?
Yeah, they'll think I'm an addict again.
Why will they think that?
I'm late.
Because you're late.
Yeah. Told them before.
Huh?
I told them before.
Okay. How do you feel about this this particular movie that you're seeing in your head here? Is this pleasant or unpleasant to do this exercise?
It's in the middle. It's just not, I know that I'm creating something that is part real and not real, so it doesn't affect me either way.
Okay.
I feel that those times in my life, they're over, so it's just now just something to work with, to experiment with. Because I'm putting together different situations.
Oh, this is reminding you of times that how things used to be.
How could have, yes. But I was not going to basketball practice. I just thought of basketball. I don't know, because earlier I saw there's a basketball hoop connected to the wall.
Mm-hmm.
Outside the door.
So this is the way things used to be, in a sense.
In a sense.
And how would you compare that with what used to be with what is now? You could open your eyes if you want to talk about this.
What used to be was that I would
maybe talk in that direction. Okay?
What used to be is that I was late because I was more worried about getting the drugs than showing up on time. And that being an addict is that you put more emphasis on whatever you're craving or whatever you need, rather than being responsible and showing up on time. And once people understand that that's the mentality that they're projecting on me, that's the situation that I'm in, even if there was snow or rain or traffic or anything else, that I was actually late because I needed to get drugs.
Wait, I lost you there. I got the thing up to being responsible instead of being dealing with the craving rather than being responsible. Then repeat what you said after that.
So, once a person, the other people project onto me once they know that I do drugs, that they associate the negative of him going out looking for drugs or me going out looking for drugs, them being on time. And it didn't matter if there was traffic or if there was snow or rain or something that slowed me down, they instantly thought he's out doing drugs.
Oh, I see. I get it. All right, so now you're outside again, outer zone, all right?
Okay.
What's your awareness of being out here? Is it more nicer in, was it nicer in there or nicer out here?
Now, going back to my other statement about being outside because it was creative, now that I took some time to think of some sort of scene or some sort of some sort of play or some sort of moment in my life, the creativity came in and I could sit and do as I wished or made the conclusions or leaps of ideas where it didn't where it gave the same feeling as when I was in the outer world.
So it ends up being, now you're comfortable either place.
Yeah. And maybe I'm less comfortable inner because I'm not so used to the inner. So it's just a new experience. So it doesn't feel as comfortable because of uncertainty.
You say a new experience? You're how old are you?
No,
You haven't used your imagination for 34 years? Is that what you're saying? And this is the first time?
no, but you're saying from inside out rather than outside in.
Yeah, I asked you to compare the two zones,
Yes.
and you're saying that before it was more pleasant outside, but now it's more pleasant. It's
not more pleasant,
equally
yeah.
pleasant because now you have more time to be creative and use your imagination.
No, but I can use my imagination on the outer and the inner. I'm just saying that now with the focus and slowing everything down in the inside, that I can still use the same imagination, but more focused in on myself, I guess. I don't know.
And that's somehow something new?
I don't know if it's necessarily new, but new in this particular circumstances.
How was it new? What's new here? What's the chidush? What's the new
The
one?
new is that I'm behind a camera and that I'm coming up with some sort of ad-lib skit of some sort of a past drama in my life that I can apply to a situation that has no connection to that life.
Yeah. And somehow this.
I mean, it has a connection because there's some sort of story I'm telling that could have been my life,
Yeah.
but I'm sitting in Israel in a place in a camera. That it has no relation, that there's no drugs out there to get, that there's no basketball game, and then there's... So yes, it's the imagination, but it's still somehow... and maybe it's just a new experience of going through this technique.
Yeah.
That kind of newness, not the
So
new...
in other words, somehow it's, even though there's no drugs out there, and even though there's no basketball, somehow it's still interesting to play around in your imagination.
Yes.
So in other words, you're beginning to see your imagination as a more useful tool than you thought it might be? Something like that?
No, maybe it gives me more freedom of my imagination.
You're finding more freedom in your imagination.
Yeah, rather than being so analytical or being so pragmatic or so systematic in my thinking.
Uh-huh.
That it gives more sort of because even when I write, there's not so much getting to know me or getting to know the inner thoughts that are going on there. It's just putting out the facts.
When you write as a lawyer.
When I write as someone who's traveled or wrote emails home or given observations or journaling.
Uh-huh.
Writing as a lawyer, but maybe that's because I went to law school and then started writing, so my ability to write came, or my habits of writing were in a sense of law school. If that makes sense.
Mm-hmm.
But now with the new technique of really getting involved in the whole moment and the whole scene and the whole inner dialogue,
Yeah.
it allows more room to give the person, the audience, what's really going on inside my head.
There's more room somehow.
Yeah.
To give the audience, but also to give yourself.
Yeah. And partly because it's slowing down. I mean, it's slowing down the brain.
Yeah, slowing down is, from the beginning I told you how fast you were going, right?
And really getting involved in the whole scene. And it was the unpredictableness.
What?
And the unpredictableness.
Yeah.
Unpredictableness meaning that horn honking, I didn't know how many times it's gonna honk.
Yeah.
So I had to be involved in.
Yeah, that was a nice improv between you were using the honking outside as part of your fantasy, and you made a nice integration of inside and outside. That was also a very important element there.
And how would I would have reacted had the honking stopped.
Yeah.
It didn't go 3 times or 4 times or how many times it was going.
So that's a sign that we're on the right direction here. That's a sign the work is succeeding. If you start having integration of different kinds of functioning coming together, the imagination, outer zone, the fantasy inside and hearing that outside are 2 different zones, So that's exactly the process of the opposite. That's, in fact, this is a perfect example of all I've been writing about in these essays and talking about. I don't want to spend time on theory now, but just the one key word here is induction versus deduction. Did we talk about that at all?
Mm-hmm.
All right. Deduction is what you call analytical thinking.
Yeah.
So,
Deducing. This
I just
from
want to
that.
write this down. Deduction versus induction. So induction is the opposite.
It's passive, more passive.
Yeah, that's right. It's in a sense more passive, where you get the data, and then you don't know in advance what it's going. Like you said, it's more spontaneous. It just happens, and then you suddenly realize, oh, so like you heard the honking, and you had the story in your mind.
What's going on here?
And somehow the 2 came together. The honking from outside and the story from inside, and the memories from the basketball from that, all came together, and that's inductive, where things are integrative. So the deductive in the Kabbalah would be the side of Bina, Din, more and more judgment separations between things. The inductive is the other side, the intuitive, emotional side. So here your emotions, your imagination is helping to feed into your emotions, and these are the 2 things these are the things that were weak at the beginning, So we're definitely making progress here. All right. Let's see how much time we got. See, we have very little time left. Let's see if we can do that again. Go inside one more time, please. And again, do the same. see if you can do even more with this process of slowing down and it's being in touch with your body awareness first of all. What's going on?
My breathing is getting more animated.
Yeah.
Time is speeding up.
Time is speeding up?
A car just went fast by.
What?
Someone's in a hurry.
Oh, you heard something outside?
Yeah, I heard something. I heard a car outside going faster, so there's some sort of necessity to get somewhere for someone.
And you feel like you're speeding up?
Yeah, because my breathing.
Ah.
Like this, making sounds with breathing, getting more energy inside my body from exhaling. And again, cars are going faster, so something's coming in. It must be Shabbat. Oh, it's Shabbat today. Ay. Gotta get changed. Gotta feed the dog. That dog keeps barking. He must be hungry. Got so much to do before Shabbat.
Is this a pleasant image or a pleasant daydream or not so pleasant?
It's pleasant.
What's pleasant about it?
Shabbat's coming.
Yeah.
It's a day of rest. But it's unpleasant in the sense that I got a lot of things to do.
Mm-hmm.
Didn't prepare before. Gotta get here, gotta get there, gotta do this, gotta do that.
Do you recognize something here about your life in general, or is this just a very unique daydream here?
No, it's applied to life. As Shabbat gets closer, there's more pressure to get everything completed that needs to be completed.
What about in your life? Are you usually feel a lot of pressure to get a lot of things done, or or is that not such a big issue?
No, there's pressure to get things done. That's for sure. There's pressure to get things done. That's for sure. But it doesn't. There's pressure, and that affects my being.
How much pressure would you say?
On a scale of 1 to 10?
Yeah.
6. Nothing pressure that I can't handle. Not as much as law school, like having to finish a final or finish a paper or get something in on a deadline.
Mm-hmm.
So it's not that high, but it's not so low as sitting on the couch and smoking taking a bong hit.
Can't hear you.
It's not so much as no pressure as like sitting on a couch watching TV and taking a bong hit.
A bong? I didn't
a
get
bong. A bong, you know.
What's a bong?
Bong. For smoking marijuana.
Oh, marijuana. I say I'm not into the jargon, okay?
Okay, it's fine, no problem. Bong, water bong.
See, can you go on with the image and see what happens? Or do you feel like it's finished?
Yeah, it's done.
It's finished?
Yeah.
Alright, you came out. Alright.
Yeah.
What's your reaction to coming out now?
The dog is barking still. But it's closer, the dog's getting closer because I can hear it better.
Which is nicer, to be out or back in there?
I think out here because now I have more stimulation. I couldn't go any further inside.
Mm-hmm.
There wasn't much to work with. Did you hear that? There wasn't much to work with.
What happened? What happened to your imagination?
I think the question and the answer just stopped the train of thought of.
Oh yeah, I interfered.
Yeah.
Okay. You want to try it again? Well, I'll keep my mouth shut.
No, it was fine. I was done anyway. I couldn't. I was.
Yeah. Problem is, we're getting to the end of this tape, and I see that this idea of working with imagination is important for you, very important, and we should do more of it. But we only have a couple minutes left. How about take 2 minutes, maybe 1 minute, I'm not sure. But if you can look at this whole session we did, everything we did today, 2 hours on awareness, okay?
Okay.
From the beginning to the end,
Okay.
the whole process.
Okay.
Can you say that there's any particular thing, any message, any particular thing you learned? How do you feel about it? Was it worth the trouble to do it? What can you say about the overall process?
The overall process was very beneficial.
In what way?
It gave me it put things it balanced more things out. It made me more, I guess to use the word, aware. Because I did feel a difference from the beginning,
In what
where it
way?
was just aware, and then now it became, I'm gonna pick 1 or 2 things that I'm gonna focus on.
So it's scattered to focus.
Yeah. And by doing that, it slowed down my whole reality of what was going on.
And that's good?
Yeah.
How is it good?
Because it would give the audience out there more
The hell with the audience, what about you in your life?
in my life.
Yeah, was there, so you see some value in slowing down?
Yeah.
What's the value?
That you can be more involved with the time frame of being, that you can be more involved with the surroundings rather than taking something, boxing it out and putting it on all different.
Involved with the circumstances
Yeah.
of what's going on, the
Yeah.
situation.
Involved with the situation rather than involved with the whole picture of
Well,
taking this, disregarding this, taking this, making all these different this and that, moving.
so in other words, what your tendency is to prejudge it. If it's not important, you push it aside. What serves your in the whole situation.
Yeah.
Not to filter so much, not to prejudge and filter everything, right?
Mm-hmm.
All right. You see,
That's a big thing.
what's
because-
big about it?
Well, it gives me more. By being more focused, I can very much get a better picture of what's going on rather than making my own conclusion too early, and then probably make me make better decisions later.
Ah,
Decision making.
being more in touch with reality.
Yeah.
What's going on?
Yeah. And maybe getting more intuition.
Allowing more space for intuition.
Yeah.
Very important.
Rather than just having just straight hochma.
Okay.
This is that. This is this. This is this.
Yeah, listen, is it still on? Maimonides' theory of prophecy, the shefa, the idea, the light, first comes down to the rational side. Then it has to go to the intuitive side, and they get the right balance. And the emphasis needs to be slightly more on the intuitive side. In order to be a prophet, to be a wise man, we need the balance with the emphasis on the intuitive side. And you were doing it the other way around. Your emphasis was on the rational side, okay?
Mm-hmm.
So now we found a space. We created an empty space, the Tzimtzum process. We created that space so that the new ideas have a place to go to for if you're going to get Davar Hashem. Get it?
Yeah.
You were blocking out Davar Hashem by
Yeah.
crowding it out with your prejudgments, right? You didn't allow the impulse to get to the right side so your chokhmah, your wisdom, can tackle the situation.
Yeah.
You were trying to handle it with your bina, with your seichel, you might say. Did we get that on tape? It's still
Yep,
blinking.
it's
Yeah.
still blinking.
Does that make sense to you? What I just said?
Yeah.
So you see the connection of the theory of prophecy to the work now, a little bit, huh?
A little bit, yeah.
The Tzimtzum process, create an empty space, to allow an empty space.
I now probably opened up some channels in my brain somehow.
Yeah,
somewhere.
so that allow yourself to not know long enough to discover the new idea.
No, that the Rosh Yeshiva says it all the time. He thinks he calls me a know-it-all, but you think you know everything, and he kind of makes those comments.
Very good. That thing's still on,
Yeah.
but it must be just about finished.
Yeah. No, because you stopped it. That's why.
Oh, go on. Say anything else you want to say while it's
I guess what I'm learning from this process, and it's what Rabbi Nachman says: the more that you don't know, the more you know. Or once you understand, you know nothing, you know everything. But I was using the other way, that I think that I know everything, that because there's a chair there, that there's someone sitting there. I don't know, just pick that up as an example. I don't know if it's going to work for exactly the whole point, but...
The more you don't know, the what?
I think Rabbi Nachman says, in a sense, the more you... once you understand that you know nothing, you know everything. And so I guess it's more of getting to the point that I don't... It's somehow shutting off that switch in the head that will say, because this, it's that. Rather than saying, okay...
Shutting off, that's called shutting off deduction to allow induction.
Yeah. Something to that extent.